Good day, everybody. Meteorologist Mark Mulner here. As always, I want to thank you for joining me for this edition of Weather Eastern. We're going to be talking about Thursday in particular, and a little bit beyond. But Thursday definitely is going to be a big severe weather day from parts of the Northeast down through the Mid-Atlantic and down the East Coast to the Southeast. So we're going to take a look at all the particulars where I think the greatest risk of damaging wind, hail, and especially tornadoes could be for your Thursday. Without wasting any more time, we'll get right into it. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell button, question or comment down below. I'd love to read your questions or comments, and there are timestamps down below if you wish to skip ahead. Let's get right into it. All right, so we're going to start off with our trouble spots here, overlaying the regional maps here in the surface maps. We have a slight risk of severe weather from Binghamton State College, just east of Pittsburgh here for the most part. Harrisburg, you're right in the middle of this. Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, New York City potentially later in the evening on Thursday evening. Atlantic City, you may get in on this as well. But the bigger promising area is eastern Pennsylvania. I think that is probably the best area down and through Harrisburg, Washington, D.C. on southwestward here. That's looking like the best area for damaging wind threat. Maybe an isolated tornado. Definitely not towards the coastline, though. It'll definitely be more inland event here. All right, for the southeast, your main threat here is going to be a large area from eastern Georgia, the panhandle of Florida, eastward here towards Tampa, Charleston, Raleigh, Roanoke, and Norfolk. These are the areas where we could see the best chance, probably particularly inland here, maybe a chance of an isolated tornado. Damaging wind, though, is going to be your main threat here into the south. So let's get into it. All right, so taking a look here, we got the two main areas of slight risk here, eastern Pennsylvania down and through Virginia and North Carolina, and then down and through Georgia, South Carolina here into the panhandle of Florida. Believe this will get a little bit farther south too into Tampa as we head later into the afternoon and the evening. So there's that wide swath. But the thing here is the tornado outlook. We have a 2% chance all the way up in eastern Pennsylvania. So we're going to have to watch that all the way down through Tampa here. And then we got this 5% risk here in the panhandle of Florida and in southern Georgia. Definitely occurring on the southern portion of this line. Hail is a little bit less of a threat, 5% here in these two hatched areas across the Mid-Atlantic and the Southeast. And then the wind here is more of a threat. The damaging straight line wind, a 15% chance here in the Mid-Atlantic, eastern Pennsylvania, and then down and through Georgia and Florida here. All right, so we're going to start off with a rapid refresh model here. Let's put this into motion into your Thursday. So you have this system moving in from the Ohio Valley. There's a line of convection. It's kind of broken at this point. This is early in the morning, so right around sunrise here, we have this broken line of convection in eastern Ohio. The best dynamics are going to be here into Pennsylvania. So as we get this going, even some stronger cells up here east of Buffalo, Niagara Falls. But then we start to see this fill-in of cells here across central Pennsylvania. And see how it becomes more linear here? This is towards noon hour here. So now we're starting to get some of these cells developing out ahead of this main line. So it's central and eastern Pennsylvania here, down and through parts of interior Virginia. That is the area of concern that I'm most concerned about through midday here. See how that really lines up here west of Binghamton, down towards Williamsport, and then we get kind of some of these cells developing south of Harrisburg here. As the afternoon wears on, this line is going to back build. You can see it. So some of these cells could become quite gusty and produce damaging wind gusts. And there is the potential we could have an isolated tornado, and I'll show you that on the tornado parameters as well. But, you know, things are pretty coming together here, especially in interior parts of Pennsylvania, the Susquehanna region of New York State, maybe the Catskills here, maybe some strong cells here in parts of the Hudson Valley region as well. And we'll have to watch southeastern Pennsylvania, maybe extreme western part of New Jersey here as well. Might have some strong cells trying to develop towards evening here as we get towards sunset. It's just going to be, we'll have to watch this here because things could get very, very interesting here across the Northeast. And of course, the severe weather threat pretty much kicks out of the picture for your Friday. And then we have some rain and snow mix coming in right around the lakes just in time for you to wake up Friday morning. Just what you wanted to wake up for on TGIF, huh? All right, so the NAM 3 kilometer, essentially simulated radar. We put this in right around noon. There it is. We start to have some cells develop here. So some of these stronger cells could get pretty strong here across northeastern Pennsylvania. And there it is, southeastern Pennsylvania down through D.C., central Virginia, parts of northern New Jersey. Things get kind of interesting here towards sunset down into the southeast part of Pennsylvania. And then look at that, forming linearly across New Jersey as the night wears on past midnight. So we'll have to watch this area. And then, of course, as you put this into motion, look at that. Yeah, I think that's maybe a little bit overdone. Snowfall, that's showing some moderate snow here. That's a little, probably more in the line of rain showers. Maybe some wet snow here in the higher elevations. Take a look at the HRW here. Take a look at this. We put this into motion, another mesoscale model. Yeah, it shows the first line of storms kind of coming off the coast here towards sunset. This kind of gets the convection going a little bit late here. So this is towards sunset. You saw this strong line of system storms moving from the Adirondacks down to Binghamton, Williamsport area, just west of Harrisburg. And that kind of conglomerates there across the Hudson Valley and moves northeast. So that's an interesting solution. Probably a little bit less likely, though. The timing on that's a little late. All right, so let's look at rapid refresh model. Look at that line throughout the night. Wednesday night here, just pummeling across to Alabama, Georgia. And then it starts to go a little bit more cellular, kind of breaks up throughout the night. Still some stronger cells embedded it as the sun rises there. And then we have there's that linear line up here in the northeast. And some of these might refire here and become, look at that, there's quite a cluster of storms. We'll have to watch that here in Virginia, Maryland, southeastern Pennsylvania throughout the day there. Things really get cranking here. There it is, eastern Pennsylvania into the Susquehanna region of New York, into the Catskills. So looking really interesting here. If we actually drop down here into Florida, let's take a look. There's that big line throughout the night, just causing all kinds of problems here. And let me back that up a couple frames. Look at that. Alabama, southern Alabama here, the Panhandle of Florida, really getting in on this. We're going to have to watch for nocturnal tornadoes here. This could be pretty damaging. And that heads towards Panama City here as the sunrise. And look at that. Starts to become a little bit more broken here, but some of these individual cells embedded in this line could still become severe all throughout the day. So we'll have to watch that. In the southern end of this line, definitely watch for some of these tornadic type cells to possibly form here. All right, so we can look at the mesoscale, the Cape convective available potential energy. So here it is. We're heading towards noon hour, just a couple hours before noon, and we start to get Cape values here into the 400 to 500s, down in through parts of Pennsylvania, western New York, and then down into Virginia. There it is, 200-300. That's not really that impressive, but as the day wears on, you get the surface heating. You start to get 600-700 Cape here, and then down in through parts of Virginia here. Look at this, in excess of 1,000 here into the blue zone. So you really start to see the picture here. We have a narrow line of Cape. This is a narrow opportunity to get, look at that, Syracuse, New York up here about 1,000. Binghamton, we're right around 500-600, and then Harrisburg, 600-700, but look at that west of you, right around 1,000. So we put this into motion. This is, mid to late afternoon from Binghamton down to Harrisburg, D.C., and then southwestward east of Roanoke. This is the corridor here, eastern Pennsylvania, down in through Virginia, maybe parts of the Susquehanna region of upstate New York, the Catskills. We will have to watch for the potential here. There's enough Cape here to cause some problems. Some strong thunderstorm potential is definitely there. You see how it really tapers off as we get towards the coastline here. New York City, you maybe have a slight chance, but it's really, it's really going to be confined more to your south and to your west here. And as we get into the southeast, we head throughout the night, Thursday night into Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Here it is. Take a look at this. So Thursday morning, take a look. So we start to get some of these Cape values on the east side of the Appalachians here in excess of 1,000. And there it is, lining up along the front. So you got this instability. Harrisburg on southward, that's where you're really getting in. Raleigh, look at that. So you got this narrow window of opportunity here across the Carolinas as well as we get into the late afternoon, early evening hours here. And as we head to the southeast here, let's take a look across Florida. Southeastern Georgia. There it is. So there's the morning hours. We get it to noon. So you start to get explosive development here across, not necessarily the Panhandle, but take a look at that. Eastern Carolinas down into the peninsula here towards Tampa. You start to get that Cape values in excess of 1,000 here. So significant tornado parameter starting off throughout the night, Wednesday night. There it is. Look at that. We start to get towards southern Alabama, 2.6, 3.0. This is where we're going to have some nocturnal tornadoes here. This is not very good. So you head towards the Panhandle 1.0. That's not too impressive, but that's still a chance that we could get some spin-ups here. Look at that towards 2.0 here, just east of Panama City. So we will be dealing with some problems here as we head throughout the day. And some of these storms could rotate here across portions of the Carolinas here as we get towards 1.5, 1.7, 1.9. And actually, let's take a look at the Mid-Atlantic there. We get up towards the Mid-Atlantic, so this significant tornado parameter, there it is. Look at that. Raleigh, 1.9. Roanoke, you're about 1.6. D.C., 1.0 for now. 0.3 up towards Harrisburg. 0.7 up towards Wilkes-Barre, Scranton. So look at this. We start to get the potential here. This is right around mid-afternoon. Notice coastal areas are just too stable for these tornadoes. You don't have the cape going on here to support that kind of rotation in the atmosphere and all this instability. See how it kind of just fizzles out. You start to get maybe a chance towards New Jersey, but let me back up a couple frames there. There it is, DC 1.1. This is real late afternoon here. So your opportunity for tornadoes definitely across eastern Pennsylvania, down through eastern Virginia and North Carolina. If we head up towards the northeast, let's zoom in on them. And you can see any one of these that do form up here, any of these stronger cells, we do have the potential 1.3 up here towards Williamsport. So you got a narrow window of opportunity here. Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, about a 1.0 there. So don't think Binghamton, there's much of a chance of tornadoes. More of a damaging straight line wind event if you get any kind of wind damage there. And then towards, midnight, Thursday night there, early Friday morning here, just inland into New Jersey. So we'll start off with the upper level jet here at 850 millibars, about 1 mile up. So as we get throughout the day on Thursday, take a look at this jet moving in. So any of these stronger thunderstorms, actually, let's go with the longer run here. So as we head throughout the day, here it is, Thursday. So we get towards, there's sunrise. So the jet is just heading overhead, pretty much western New York here, 78 knots, 66 knots, down in through western Pennsylvania, and another jet down here into parts of Virginia, mid-60s. So take a look at this. We line this up towards noon. So the best upper level dynamics here for the jet, 75 knots here across eastern Pennsylvania. So we'll have to watch that. So these stronger cells that do form throughout the mid-afternoon across eastern Pennsylvania, Susquehanna region of New York, Catskills, Poconos, down in through Virginia here, have the ability to tap into some of this wind up in these higher heights here that could produce some damage. And we'll progress that down into the mid-Atlantic here. Let's put this into motion. Look at that jet. So yeah, there's going to be some hefty winds up here in the 60, 70 knots to tap into here across Virginia, down and through the Carolinas. So watch out for that. And if we take a look into the southeast here, let's see if there's the same kind of jet. Definitely is. Look at that. Not as pronounced, but as I said, the big threat here on the southern part of the line will be more of the rotating tornadic type thunderstorms. So you're really going to want to watch out for that. All right, so we'll take a look at the big picture here. There's the GFS. Look, let me back that up. There's that big solid line for later Thursday night. Look at that. That is pretty intense severe weather all the way up into Kentucky here. And then you actually have a cold component of this system, rain and snow, heavy snow back on the backside here into the upper Great Lakes with this system. And there's for your Thursday here across the east. There's some of those embedded cells. So the GFS is kind of hinting on that as well. As we put this into motion, yeah, you're stuck with rain and snow showers here for your Friday into the weekend. Look at that. What's new there? We got some clearing for Saturday. And the country at this point, you have this little weak system here in the upper Ohio Valley, lower Great Lakes. But for the most part, by the time the weekend comes, the only thing we'll be dealing with here is this system here in the northeast. It tries to go a little coastal on us, and you see some of this inland, kind of like a rain-snow mix here across upstate New York and eventually into New England. But it doesn't really get that cranking. High pressure pretty much replaces it for Monday. And look at that. There is where we have that warm front coming in, that low pressure coming off the Mexican plateau here. And yeah, you start to get the idea here. We might be looking at another round. There it is. severe big-time thunderstorms. This is Tuesday, April 5th. Look at that. Yeah, that's, we're going to have to watch this. This is like a broken record, and then the low heads up to the northeast, and we get some of the chances of storms all the way up into the mid-Atlantic again. So that's essentially the pattern we're in here. It's a broken record type pattern. So many of you are concerned about what the temperatures are going to even out to. Looking at the CFS model across North America, we spin this through April here. Just wanted to briefly show you this. And it's really, really tough until about the mid part of the month. You start to see a pattern here. Yeah, you do have some cold spells out west, but there does seem to be more in the way of cold spells here back east. Of course, there's a big warm up, and there's a really big cold spell there come the 25th of April. So take it with a grain of salt, this, and then we finally start to get a little bit warmer pattern kicking in. We start to get a little hint that maybe we'll have more troughiness out west and more warmer anomalies here back east. All right, so your weather for the northeast here for you Thursday. Looking pretty stormy here into the yellow zone, as I showed you earlier. Think the chances of tornadoes really fall off as you come closer to the coast, just not the instability there. But if you look at eastern Pennsylvania, Susquehanna region of New York, Pennsylvania, Interstate 81, down here into Maryland and Virginia, Binghamton, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, Harrisburg, D.C. on southwestward. This is probably your best threat of damaging wind gusts. Maybe, especially closer to this warm front, some of these storms could rotate and become tornadic. So we'll have to watch for that. But temperatures will be on the rise here. Look at that. We get into the 70s, which is really nice. Many areas getting right around 70, 73 in Harrisburg there. So here across Pennsylvania, you have a really narrow threat of severe weather, but that'll be quickly moving east after noon. So your chances of major severe weather in western Pennsylvania really tapering off pretty quickly, as I showed you there in the models. For Friday, low pressure winding up here across northern New England. As we head throughout the day, the rain showers, lake enhanced, will start to mix with and change over to snow showers, especially in these higher elevations downwind of Lake Erie and Lake Ontario here. So temperatures will be falling. Northwest winds will be kicking in out of the northwest, 15 to 25 miles per hour, with higher gusts to 40 miles per hour. Just what you want for springtime, huh? Saturday, this will be a nice day across the northeast. High pressure kicks off the coast, so you will be on the backside of high pressure, and the pattern switches to the southwest, which is nice. You'll be a nice 54 degrees here in Binghamton, State College, 55, double nickels there, and Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, and 56 there. New York City, got out there and enjoy New York City Central Park, 54 in Boston, 51 in Albany. Sunday, we'll have a weak coastal. Try to spin up here, scattered showers, amounting to about 1/10 of an inch or less on average, maybe a few wet snowflakes up here into the Adirondacks, but for the most part, this will be a nuisance system, and it will be a little on the chilly and damp side. All right, Thursday for the southeast, there it is. As I showed you earlier, slight risk in a very large area from the Florida Panhandle down and through parts of the peninsula, Tampa, probably later in the evening, Panama City earlier in the morning, but the tornado threat is greatest here along the southern part of the line that's moving across the deep south here. And then we get into a tornado threat, possible isolated tornadoes, damaging wind threat, the biggest and greatest to here. We get up here into parts of Virginia and the Carolinas as well. We head throughout the day. So big severe weather day. Heed those watches and warnings. Friday, we kick that to the east. Cooler air building in. High pressure's building in, though. Chance of a shower or thunderstorm here across South Florida, Central Florida as well. And then over by Dallas, temperatures will be on the rise with this warm front. Saturday, we kick this system out of the Gulf, so we'll start to have some gully washers moving in, maybe up to an inch in some of these stronger gully washers. Thankfully, none of these will be severe, so this will just bring some beneficial rains if you need it here. Along the Gulf coastal areas, temperatures will be on the rise, and Sunday, that sinks to the south, thankfully. And look at this. We really break out some summertime weather. 80s along the Gulf Coast here, 84 in Houston, 86, getting quite humid there around Dallas, 85 in Tampa, and even by 74 here in Atlanta, and into the mid-60s here up into the Carolinas and Virginia. Extended outlook for my hometown viewers, Binghamton to Scranton's upper Susquehanna region of upstate New York, northeast Pennsylvania, Thursday through Monday here. Thursday is the severe weather day. We have that slight risk of severe weather, particularly during the middle afternoon up through early evening. We could see damaging wind gusts as the main threat. Hail, it's kind of there, but I'm really more concerned about damaging straight line winds more than anything. So damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. Definitely have some gusty thunderstorms with the 40, 50 mile per hour gusts. So definitely that going on. Getting up towards 70, so really nice. That falls off a cliff for your Friday, 46. And then Saturday, look at this. We bounce it up nicely as your best day. Sunny skies, 54. You can't really go wrong there. And then Sunday, of course, we get a more unsettled pattern getting back in. Another system moving in. Maybe some lake-enhanced rain showers, snow showers mixing in with the higher elevations, 49 and 56 for your Monday, partly sunny skies. As always, I want to thank you for joining me for this edition of Weather Eastern. Don't forget to give my Facebook page and Twitter page some love. Facebook at MeteoMark. Also, Weather Northeastern. Also, Hurricane Northeastern for hurricane season coming up. Also, Twitter at Weather Eastern. MeteoMark.com, WeatherNortheastern.com. Question or comment down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Smash the like button and share the video with all your friends and family.